utensils and other materials are usually not left out in this flood.
The drainage system is perhaps a hydra-headed monster that had for a long time reared its head in the city. Councillor Dudu Biramjai is optimistic that with the current efforts being spearheaded by the authorities, very soon the problem would be a thing of the past.
Banjul, at this present moment, we are safeguarding it, we are taking the bull by the horn, we are doing everything we can on drains to see that that doesn't happen. And I am sure with the present government we have, they facilitate us with everything. Banjul will not agree to see Banjul sink.
For many indigents in Banjul, the sea has become a magnet for a lot of business operators. Modu Kale is setting his sights on planting coconut trees on the beach. If you were to ask him what his vision was for the city, he would tell you.
My dream and my vision, I want to make Banjul along the seaside all coconut trees. That's my vision. That's why I start this thing here, because of this sea erosion. That's the only way we can control it. Not to bring these Europeans, they come and bring their sands and all these things, but we can make along the seaside these coconut trees and the roots. Each coconut trees, the roots move up to 1 kilometer. If you have hundreds of coconut trees along the seaside here, when they are already matured, that means every month you invest, you can create an income of almost hundreds of thousands. Because each coconut trees, you can sell it for, each coconut, you can sell it for $15. And each coconut trees, you can harvest every 1 month, almost 70 to 55 knots.
Thanks to the ferry service, Banjulians receive on a daily basis thousands of people who for obvious reasons stay in the city momentarily before living elsewhere in the Combos. Samba Fall has been mayor of Banjul twice. He has been speaking about the changes in population dynamics and the need for Banjulians to unite and rally behind the government and invest in the city.
Every day we receive almost 400,000 people coming in and out, from the North Bank and from the South Bank, from the Saro or Denton Bridge end.
It's now time for a breather. Weekend Spectrum returns right after this.
Spectrum on GRTS.
Welcome back to Weekend Spectrum. It's now time to look at the international stories. We begin in Asia.
Much of the Philippine capital, Manila, remains underwater after days of heavy rain. The flooding has affected nearly 2 million people. As we hear in this report by CNN's Alex Zalbad, the cleanup has just begun.
Now that the rain has finally backed off, the cleanup is underway in Manila.
Yesterday, it's happened.
Rio Vargas' home is just a stone's throw from a bridge over the Marikina River.
Yeah, just cleaning some mess, some mud inside the house.
He and his family were able to take refuge in the second story of their house. Others weren't so lucky. This man tells us with his home flooded, he slept in this jeepney or minibus for the past 2 nights. He wasn't alone.
24 hours ago here in Marikina City, floodwaters were up around 2 meters. That's higher than my head. But now the sun is out, the rain has finally stopped, and that's giving these people a chance to go through and assess the damage and get the water out of their homes. But as you can see in front of me here, there is still plenty of work to be done.
In another flooded part of Manila, we caught up with President Aquino as he paid a visit to a temporary shelter.
What's your assessment of things today? What have you seen?
Well, we had quite an inordinate amount of rainfall. One of the worst in recent memory was from a typhoon called Dodoy. I'm told that the volume of water that was dropped is even greater than that was experienced in Dodoy. But I think we've been managed to demonstrate that the government's disaster mitigation efforts are working.
But as the water retreats, many are quick to point out a better flood prevention system needs to be put in place, particularly in low-lying areas. Others, though, are just glad the sun is finally shining and they can get on with their lives, reclaiming what's left.
Life must go on. Life must go on. Yeah, life must go on.
In Rio Vargas' words, it's clean up today and back to work tomorrow. Alex Zolbert, CNN, Manila.
Over now to the battle for Syria, where the United States said all options remain on the table to help the rebels. Just weeks ago, Aleppo was Syria's bustling center and home to 2.5 million people. Well, now the entire neighborhood is in ruins. Many people have fled, and those who haven't been able to get out are trying to survive any way they can. CNN's senior international correspondent Ben Widerman takes us inside Aleppo.
Muafak has retrieved what he could from the ruins of his home. In what's left of Aleppo's Salahuddin neighborhood, there's little time to ponder one's loss. The situation is terrible, Muafak tells me. We're taking everything we can. We don't know where we'll go. We've lost everything, so we're leaving. His family of 7 is just one of thousands of families who have fled Salahuddin. Now one of the main battlefields between government forces and the rebels. 17-year-old Hamza has been fighting here for the last 2 weeks. He says several of his comrades were killed by Syrian army snipers earlier in the day. These lightly armed fighters have managed to hold off the army. Their most potent weapon is not in their enemy's arsenal.
Let's now shift attention to the French Reunion Island, where swimming or bathing in the pristine beaches is increasingly becoming dangerous. This is because of the continuous attacks by sharks on people who visit the beaches. As we hear in this report, the authorities in Reunion Island are looking for solutions to the problem.
A spate of shark attacks in the French Indian Ocean island of Reunion over the past 2 years has sparked panic. 3 of these attacks were fatal. The most recent occurred Sunday when a surfer received a serious injury to his hand and foot. Here in Saint-Lieu, there's no ban on bathing or surfing, but residents and vacationers are worried.
After the shark attack, I've been trying to be more careful. I won't go too far out.
On days when the waves are higher, the water is a bit cloudier, and sharks come to mind.
The authorities are addressing these worries with radical measures.
Nous allons procéder à des pêches de requins bulldog et de requins tigres. Nous allons aussi pêcher des carangues. Ce qui, en revanche, est fait, c'est d'ores et déjà une accélération des marquages réalisés dans le cadre du programme Shark. Dès cette semaine, il y aura des marquages sur les requins tigres et bulldogs.
The number of attacks in Reunion Island have doubled over the past 30 years. One probable cause is the natural marine reserve to protect the coral reef. Set up in 2007, it extends over the entire western coast and is home to thousands of species of fish. These, say protesters, attract the sharks. On Wednesday, some 300 surfers and fishermen staged a protest.
Nous, ce qu'on demande, c'est des mesures bien plus concrètes et on en a surtout vraiment ras-le-bol d'entendre ces scientifiques nous tenir un discours où la réserve ne peut pas être la seule raison de cette prolifération.
Marine Reserve officials have promised to work with the local authorities in the coming days. One potential solution is to allow fishing for sharks.
That's Weekend Spectrum this week. Thanks for watching and to have a pleasant weekend.
Join us next weekend for a brand new edition of the program. My name is Mamadou Diallo.
And I am Ndeiko Mademba.
Spectrum on GRTS.
From hard news.
Assalamu alaikum mbokk yi ñu seetaan ñu leen di nuyu fii ci Gambia Radio ak Television Services ci seen programme bi di koor gi ak kër gi tey jii dañ leen indil waxtaan woo xam ne daf day faral di am ci kër gi di faral di am ci mbedda yi di faral di am ci grand place yi ba ci place liggéeyukaay yi sax te gis ne àndut ak weeru màgg wi muy shahru Ramadan loolu mooy lan muy jow na moom la ñoo waxtaanee tey ki ko waxtaanal nag mooy suñu ebul imam